Welcome to the Fundamental Football Friday Show, Ep.2. Let's get into it. Penn State week. Yes, Penn State week. Week 2 of the Big Ten season for Ohio State. Penn State is on the schedule. What everyone has thought since the offseason that this would be the toughest test for this Ohio State team comes in week 2, and I know it's lost a little bit of its luster with Penn State going down to Indiana, but I don't expect Penn State to not bring it. If you look at that Indiana game, they outplayed Indiana. They doubled them in yards. I think they had over 500 yards of offense. Indiana, Penix threw for maybe over 100 yards. It was just a ton of special teams mistakes, 3 missed field goals. I think countless turnovers, and then that key mistake at the end, not sliding before scoring the touchdown to ice the game. So Penn State kind of gave that one away, so it definitely has lost its luster for the main fan base of college football for this game, but I expect Penn State to bounce back and bring it like they always do. They seem to always give Ohio State a tough match. So I want to talk a little bit about what I think is going to happen in the game, and then also give you the fundamental 5, which last week went 5-0, ladies and gents, 5-0. So you want to stay tuned to those picks a little later. So hopefully we can get things going, because your boy over here is hot. So let's get a little bit into the game here. So Ohio State playing Penn State. I think this game is going to come down to turnovers. I know it's a little cliche, but Penn State always seems to give Ohio State fits, especially on the defensive end. They do a lot of good blitz packages, have either good edge rushers. Shaka Toney now this year can create havoc on that offensive line that didn't look very impressive against Nebraska. They're going to be facing a better front against Penn State, and they have some good secondary in the back end. I like Joey Porter Jr., freshman corner. He's going to be playing a lot. And then Lamont Wade, that guy scares the hell out of me. He does a lot of stuff around the ball, makes a lot of plays, creates a lot of havoc. I know last year he felt like he was responsible for, I think, all 3 of the fumbles that Ohio State had. If Ohio State doesn't turn the ball over 3 times in that Penn State game last year, it's probably a blowout. So it's going to be key to hold on to the football. I think Penn State knows that, and I think Penn State's going to want to control the ball as well, try to keep it away from that offense. They're going to try to do similar to what Nebraska did, run the ball a lot of QB runs, a lot of RPOs, read options, and then they will just make those plays in the play action game to go over the top against this defense. I do expect him to take some shots, unlike Nebraska, who maybe threw the ball 15 yards once, twice maybe. I expect the secondary to be challenged in this game. They're going to be throwing, taking a few shots deep. They're going to try to get some matchups with Pat Freiermuth, who is probably the best tight end in the nation. They're going to try to get some one-on-one matchups with him. I know last year Ohio State had Pete Warner flexed out on him anytime they brought him out wide. Pete has switched his linebacker position, so I don't expect him to be on Pat this year. And Baron Browning's not that guy either, so it would be interesting to see if they put someone like Josh Proctor, Marcus Hooker, or do a slot corner, someone like Marcus Williamson or Cam Brown. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. I do expect a hard-fought game like it always is. It's going to be a slugfest. I think if Ohio State wins the turnover battle, they win this game. But if Penn State doesn't turn the ball over and controls the clock, it could get a little dicey. I do expect the offensive line to play a little better. Justin Fields, kind of, what you've heard throughout the week from the coaches and him, is that, he's going to live with those plays where he does take a sack. He does hold on to the ball because he tries to make either the perfect play or he trusts his athletic ability enough to make a play when no receivers are open downfield. So I do expect Ohio State to try to get away from running him as much, but if the game gets tighter and things happen where you're going to have to call his number, because right now he's the best option at running the football. So I do expect Justin Fields not to carry the load early on, but depending on how the game goes, they might be leaning on him a little more to make those plays. So I do expect the offensive line to play a little better, and we'll see, and that's going to be key. Hopefully making those running backs have better lanes, running backs making better reads as well to free up Justin Fields in that passing game. So it will be exciting. I do expect a really good game. I think Ohio State, if I had to pinpoint it, I'll put you down. That Ohio State 31, Penn State 23. I think this game, if Ohio State doesn't turn the ball over, they will be scoring points. They'll score points pretty well, hopefully. I think they'll have it'll get tightened up a little bit at some point. It's either going to get tightened up in the first half trying to figure each other out, or in the second half. So I think you're either going to see a lot of scoring early on, or you're going to see a lot of scoring late, where adjustments will be made one way or another to where Ohio State will be stifled either the first half or the second half to where they can only get 31. Penn State will be down 2 scores. I think they'll get a late touchdown to get it with 1 score, try to get an onside kick, not recover it, and I expect Ohio State to win. 31-23 is what I'm going with. So that's no cover for Ohio State, but I do expect them to win the game and it be relatively close and interesting. Key is Chris Olave as well, so we hope that Chris Olave will come back. I think he will be back, so that's big news for Ohio State. If he can play, you need somebody obviously like that with the experience and the route running who can stretch the field, and you don't have Garrett Wilson running out there with a bunch of freshmen and Jameis Williams. So Ohio State 31-23 is what I am going with, and I expect a good game as always. Huge that there's nobody at the whiteout. It'll be a whiteout of 1,000 people, something like that. So yeah, I got Bucks 31-23, 2-0, and they will spearhead their way to Rutgers and old Greg Schiano. So that's it. And 2-0, go Bucks. They just dropped the trailer, shooting this on Thursday. Check out that Ohio State trailer. Ohio State media is the best in the business. Always gets the juices flowing whenever you see the game day trailer drop. So long live the brotherhood for the Penn State game. That's the motto that they go with. They've been doing that for the last 3-4 years. So check out that video. Ohio State does a great job, and I expect Ohio State to go 2-0 and beat Penn State. And I hope that's true, because I can't stand James Franklin and I can't stand Penn State. So go Bucks. Fundamental 5 next. Peace. Fundamental 5 coming back to you. 5 games. That's what it is. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've already bragged about it a million times. This guy went 5-0 last week in his picks in his Fundamental 5 parlay. Won myself some money, a nice little chunk of change. So hopefully you listen to these picks and you guys can win some money too, because I'm starting to think I know what I'm talking about. Maybe. So yeah, let's get it started. So I like first game, UCF -3 against Houston. UCF scores a gajillion points. I love their quarterback, Gabriel. The kid can run it, can throw it. They play with a lot of tempo, and I just don't think Houston has the horses or can keep up with the scoring. So I like UCF -3 against Houston. Second game, give me Michigan. Yeah, that's right, Michigan -24.5 against Michigan State. I think Michigan State is going to be maybe the worst team in the Big Ten. I know if that's not obvious since they lost to Rutgers. I know. I think it was Rutgers' like first Big Ten win in like 3 years or something crazy like that. But Rutgers getting that win, and I know having Shiano kind of changes things, but it's going to be a really bad year for Michigan State. Losing a lot of people, not having any guys back, getting a coach on late in Mel Tucker. It's going to be an uphill climb for that team, and I like what I saw from that Michigan offense. Granted, it was Minnesota. Minnesota's not one of the best defenses. They're not known for that defense, but they put up a lot of points against them. They tightened up against Minnesota in that second half after Minnesota rattled off, I think, 24 points. They locked them up in the second half, and Minnesota has a far and away superior offense to Michigan State. So I think that 24.5 points for Michigan, it could be a lot. It sounds like a lot, but I expect Michigan to handle them easily. Third game, I like LSU minus 3.5. LSU seems to get their footing. I mean, they're going against Auburn this week. I'm not saying that they're all the way back, but they're starting to figure some things out. And Auburn's just not good. Not good at all. Gus Malzahn they're the strangest team. They're so hot and cold. Bo Nix, you can't really trust that guy at quarterback. And I think LSU minus 3.5. I don't think they're very different. Auburn's very different from the South Carolina team that LSU just beat. So I think 3 points is not a lot, and I expect LSU to get that done. So I'm going with the Tigers on that one. The next game, I like Temple and I like Tulane. The over's 59. That's not a lot of points. Both teams can score. I think Tulane has scored over 30 points in most of their games. I'd have to fact check me on that, but I've looked up Temple. Temple scores a lot of points as well. So I think 59 is kind of low for two teams that can score the ball and don't really have good defenses. So I definitely like the over in that game. And now finally, Notre Dame versus Virginia Tech. The line, I believe, right now is 20. I am a little teetering on that, but I will go with it. I think that's the one I'm a little weary about. If you feel a little bit sketchy about it, don't be afraid to bet it down, maybe 16, 17 points. But currently it's at 20. Georgia Tech's is bad. And I know Notre Dame's had that weird game against Louisville where they only scored, I think it was like 12, 14 points or something like that. But they had a good bounce back. Georgia Tech just got lit up by BC, who just ran it down their throats. I watched that game because it was on my picks last week. But they just ran it down their throats. And Notre Dame's just going to be a better version of that. So I expect them to score a lot of points against Georgia Tech and tighten things up on defense. And I do expect a blowout there. Not a Clemson-like blowout, which was, 73-7, something like that. But I do expect Notre Dame to handle business and win by more than 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to go with the Irish minus 20. So that's your fundamental 5. Those are your 5 picks. Hope you all win some money. I'm going to win myself some money again, back-to-back weeks. Yeah, that's what I do. So you guys stay safe. Be good. I'll see you all next week. I'll see you guys for the recap video, Penn State. If you like what you see, like what you're hearing, just like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Just drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the vids and what else I should do. So I'll see you all Sunday. Peace, love, later.